Hello and welcome everyone. This is the live stream. I am your host, your Heavenly Father. Good to see everybody. Not much happening in the world today. So I with you guys, I watched the Matt Gaetz speech last night, and I took parts of it, and then recorded them. Didn't doctor anything, and posted those videos. And a couple of them kind of exploded. So that's interesting. So I woke up this morning, and and then, after I posted it last night, I noticed a few slightly big names, several Congress people, and various other people, blue check marks, had not reported it, had retweeted it as well, and a couple of million views by the end of the evening. And then this morning I woke up, and a young gentleman by the name of Timothy Bella with the Washington Post had found me and emailed me and wanted to do an interview with me to talk about the Post. And so I did, and that interview is now out in the Washington Post. I did record the interview with his permission. You'll hear it. So if people are interested, I'll play what an actual interview with a reporter for the Washington Post is like, and then how much actually ends up in an article, which I always find fascinating. And after you hang up the phone, you're like, oh yeah, I really hope they emphasize the fact that this is about fundraising for Matt Gaetz. I really hope they emphasize the fact that he's trolling us, and subsequently, I watched a little bit of Brian Williams from last night, and they showed that exact clip, not my tweet, but that exact clip. And I don't know whether they got that off of my tweet or they were monitoring the speech as well and used that same, the same portion, but it was that exact snippet presented exactly in the way I did. And again, for those of you who joined me last night, you see me do this in real time. I didn't edit this. I hit record, and when it's done with what I want to capture, I hit stop, and you can even see up in the corner of the screen the little green thing that comes out and says, yep. So anyway, it's not doctored. Those are Matt Gaetz's words, precisely. And so now Matt Gaetz has posted, and Red State and several other news organizations have posted, like, here's the full 2 minutes or however long you want to post. It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't. Oh, no, he didn't mean to kill everyone in Silicon Valley. He meant to rise up against the government. On the same day that Republicans blocked an inquiry into 1/6. That's the first time I've called January 616 because I want to be one of the cool kids. On the same day, they're saying, no. He's saying that you have the obligation to exercise your Second Amendment against the government. So, therein lies the question. What did he mean? Was the presentation such that it makes it look like he's saying, go and take revenge against the people in Silicon Valley? They can't cancel me. They can't cancel us. If that's the meaning, that's really bad. If, in fact, his meaning is you need to rise up against the government, also really bad and illegal. More illegal than saying go kill people in Silicon Valley. Is exercising your Second Amendment just having guns? No, that's part of it. That's keeping, in the Second Amendment, it says keep and bear arms. Bear arms is taking up arms. Otherwise, it was just bear arms. Oh, no, you can just have a gun. You have an obligation to have a gun on your person, but never use it. But he did say use. So exercise that right to have a gun is different than bearing a gun. It says keep and bear. Congress, what is it? And this, I'm paraphrasing. We can look it up, but I'm not even going to bother. A well-regulated militia. It's always left out. They never talk about the well-regulated. Being necessary for the security of a free state. The Congress will not infringe upon the right to keep and bear arms. I should look that up. Stephanie, right. So am I broadcasting? I think so. Yeah, looks like a bunch of people in the YouTube chat. So, speaking of YouTube, not only does he say what he said, then he says, oh, this is going to be the thing that kicks me off YouTube. I encourage everyone, as I did right underneath the tweet that I posted, go watch the whole thing in context. It doesn't get any better. We need to rebel against the government. Who are the government? Well, the deep state is real, and it is everywhere. And it is the media, and it is Silicon Valley. He says all of these things. I'm not making this up. One of the things, now that we're talking about 1/6 or January 6th for you kids that aren't cool, one of the things we should be aware of by this point is that the warning signs for 1/6 were out there and they were ignored. If you're like me and many other irrelevant people, we were saying, no, bad things are going to happen. There have been enough dog whistles that the dogs are going to show. Who? It's the same with this. That, by the way, this is something that I've learned from all the hullabaloo that's happened over the last couple of days. I've now had to watch myself, and in going back and watching myself, I realized that these glasses are way too big for my face. They're just cheap readers from Amazon. I ordered 3 of them at the same time. Like, they came in a pack of 3. I don't know, $20 or whatever. Really, they are, especially now that I've lost weight, they look ridiculous. And why? Why didn't any of you tell me this? What is the deep state, Phyllis? The deep state is everywhere. The deep state is the media. The deep state is Facebook and Silicon Valley and the internet hall monitors. Oh my God, I have to change my profile. I have to be internet hall monitor. Anyway, I did an interview with Washington Post. Several other magazines have covered it as well. When you go to get yourself Twitter verified, I wonder if I can actually... Let me do a little quick search of my email here, guys. DK Logan says, want to be famous. Too late. Congrats on losing weight. Thank you, Phyllis. It's not easy. And I admire anyone who does it, who gets it done, including myself. Speaking of admiring, I was trying to get Twitter verified a couple of years back. Oh, you know what? I tell the story in the interview, so I don't want to repeat it now. Yeah, Phyllis lives right in Silicon Valley. So for those of you just joining us, I want to play what I tweeted, because I want you to have that in context. Let's go down. I will pull it over here. This is what I say right here. Florida man Matt Gaetz, talking about Silicon Valley canceling conservatives, says, we have a Second Amendment in this country, and I think we have an obligation to use it. Again, this is, right, there's no cuts in here. I just hit record and I hit stop. I did not doctor this video in any way, shape, or form. Let's just take a look at it. Oh, I just got a notification from YouTube that we're broadcasting. So if you're not watching right now, get on it.
The internet's hall monitors out.
That's me. I'm an internet hall monitor, I guess. Okay, here we go. That's probably way too loud for you guys. Hold on, check it out. I know that my mic is not very loud, and I don't know how to fix that. It used to be louder, and I realized that from watching it as well, that those of you who say, we can't hear you, Kevin, first off, no one has ever said that in my life before this. Secondly, yeah, I get it. Some of you, it's fine. The volume balance is fine, but for some of you, my volume is soft. I realize that, and I'm going to work on it. And unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to do that before this, and I need to be able to see over my microphone here. Here, I'll get nice and close to my microphone so I can see. And I'm going to keep my readers off because I don't need readers. I'm not old. Here we go.
out in Silicon Valley, they think they can suppress us, discourage us. Maybe if you're just a little less patriotic, maybe if you just conform to their way of thinking a little more, that you'll be allowed to participate in the digital world. Well, you know what? Silicon Valley can't cancel this movement, or this rally, or this congressman. We have a Second Amendment in this country, and I think we have an obligation to use it.
Okay, that very definitively, and I told this to the reporter in the interview, that very definitively, the tone of his speech there ends that thought. It connects it with the earlier thought. Now, the defense being, well, he said First Amendment when he was talking about they can't cancel us. We have a right to say what we want to say. And then he says, it's a different thought. Completely separated. We have a Second Amendment. No, he should have said we also have a Second Amendment and then talk about how we should use the Second Amendment to uprise against the government. That's way better. But when I heard this, and when several of you heard this, and when everybody else hears this, it sounds like he's saying, hey, they can't cancel us. We have a Second Amendment, which is exactly what he says. He doesn't say, additionally, we have a Second Amendment. He doesn't say, let's move on. Now, I want to talk to you about the Second Amendment. No, he connects those thoughts in the same breath. Well, no, he may have breathed. He might have breathed in between. So that's that. And then, of course, as you know, I always want people to take things in context. So as soon as I saw this tweet was blowing up, I said, well, people are going to start saying, oh, this is doctored or whatever. By the way, thanks to Asen for retweeting this. Asen has a much bigger voice on the internet than I do, and he chose to retweet this because he felt it to be significant. And that's really what made it exploded. And since then, Since then, it's sort of taken on a life of its own. And so right underneath that, for those asking, no, this is not doctored. Fun people watch these types of things with me and mock them on the live stream. That's you guys. You guys are on the internet. You're famous. Great job, everybody. How many people? 2.5 million people have watched it now. And then right after that, I think this morning, I will talk about this later. And let's see. And then there's something else I put on there as well. But Ted Lieu, he's a congressman, a Democratic congressman. He retweeted it. Brian Behar, or I don't know how to say your name, Brian, but I know who you are. Chris Krebs, who was Donald Trump's head of security for the cyber agency, who Donald Trump fired because he said this was the most secure election we ever had. Chris Krebs tends to stay out of politics. He retweeted this. T-Pain, David Jolly, Pat Bagley. I'm not Rex Chapman, by the way. He's retweeted me a couple of times. Anyway, I'm not bragging about this. I'm just saying this tweet has been far-reaching. And again, mostly because Asen retweeted this. Some of these people follow me. Most of them do not. But that's the way Twitter works, right? That's how it's designed. You retweet something, people follow you, they see it, they retweet it. Apparently it was trending last night. I don't know if it's still trending right now. Show more. See what the trending topics are. For Me, The Handmaid's Tale, Saturday Night Live, Dan Levy. Ryan Reynolds, okay. Dan Levy, that must be, he's the one on Schitt's Creek, right? Yeah. What's happening? Senate Republicans block creation of January 6th commission. Shameful. Do something. I'm not sure what that's about. Ashley Babbitt. Show more. See what else is trending. Benghazi is trending. Constitution. There. See, it's not even trending anymore. That's how quickly Twitter moves on. That's our attention span. And in 2 weeks, I'll never hear from this tweet again. I will never forget to pee on you, Lizzie. I want to say that I met Chris Krebs years ago. He looks very familiar to me, and I used to have a limo company up in Seattle. He was head of security for Microsoft for a while. So he took a tremendous pay cut, believe me, by deciding to go and work for a government agency. So this was just Chris deciding, I need to serve my country. And for that effort, he got fired. But I want to say that at some point I had to drive him because I couldn't find a driver or whatever it was at the time. I owned a limo company, so and occasionally I would have to drive, which is one of the reasons I no longer own a limo company. But he looks very familiar to me, and I think I remember having a conversation with him, and he was very nice. That's all I have to say about Chris Krebs, but I can't absolutely 100% remember that was his. I just remember having a conversation about internet security, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, if I remember correctly, I asked that person in the car, I said, you know what you should do? You should go to Washington and work for the U.S. government, because I'm pretty sure that the Russians are going to start attacking our elections soon, and we'll probably end up with people in there we don't... No, I never said any of that. Wouldn't that be funny? I do know. It's amazing what the little people can do. I do happen to know for a fact that my friend Lindsay is responsible for Obama getting elected. And at some point, maybe I'll have Lindsay on the show and he'll tell you that story. Not Lindsey Graham. But that's a fact, people. Judges agree. They know the story. Did Trump headhunt him? No, I don't think so. Anyway, that's how quickly things come and go. And then there's words about Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker retweeted me before, and that's a much bigger deal than this, right? I mean, it's Luke Skywalker. When a Jedi retweets you, I'm sorry, but that trumps 6 or 7 congressperson. Poor choice of words. Jake Tapper retweeted me 4 times. But I think Jake has retweeted me before. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, Twitter won't verify me because I'm not newsworthy. Literally, I've seen 10 different articles, not only about my tweet, but also interviewing me this morning, and I'm not newsworthy, according to Twitter. We'll tell that story. I'll tell that story in the interview. And I'm going to be watching the interview with you. I probably swear up a storm, I would imagine. I don't know. Anna Navarro follows Lizzie. I like Anna Navarro. Always a good time. So anyway, but the point of the story, and Matt Gaetz tweeted about it this morning, and I tweeted back to him. I'm like, it's not doctored. But yeah, what did I write to him? What did I write to Matt Gaetz? Let's go look at that, just to put things into context here. I would find that under profile and tweets and replies. Let's see. Oh, there we are right now. Okay. Okay, hold on. Oh, here's Joe Manchin. Look at Joe Manchin's office. I'm sorry, but if that's not directly out of Handmaid's Tale, I don't know what is. Look at that crimson background.
Was unimaginable.
Here we go. Here's Joe Manchin. We're cutting away from the news about Matt Gaetz to talk about the news of 1/6.
Before January the 6th,
Oh my goodness. This is really loud for you guys, I think. Hold on. Again, I got to adjust things.
2021, an attack on Congress and...
Oh no, it looks like the audio is fine. That's the trouble. I use OBS as software for those of you wondering why this happens. OBS is fantastic in 1,000 ways, and it's free. It's open source. It might even stand for open source, open broadcasting system or something. Who knows? Anyway, OBS is fantastic. I have no complaints, except that my volumes and what goes out on OBS are 2 different things, which I understand the reason for, but I wish there was just one little button that I could click and I hear exactly the levels that you hear. That's what I wish was there. It probably is. So if anyone out there is watching, and again, it's open source, so anybody can make changes as long as they're accepted by the conglomerate that is OBS, that would be a great button to have. It really would.
Democracy at our capital, at the hands of our own citizens, was unimaginable. In the 240 plus years of our great nation's history, we have never seen an attack of this nature. Not even during our nation's horrific Civil War did this happen. This was our chance to have a bipartisan commission that would allow for an impartial investigation into the events of that horrific day so that we are better able to prevent another attack on our nation. Let me be clear. Democratic leadership in both the House and the Senate accepted the proposed changes from Republicans because a commission of this nature must be bipartisan to be successful.
Yeah, a lot of headspace there. I'm one to speak. Yeah, so this all started back when everybody wanted a commission. Back at the beginning when Kevin McCarthy was saying that the president was responsible for 1-6. And then things changed because they realized, you know what, we need the support of these people or we're all going to get primaried. Can people say who their most famous follower is? Says Ian Hartley. Sure. Go ahead. Mine is Kevin Williams. then you don't have anyone famous following you. Oh yeah, no, it's been years since I've actually been recognized on the street, so I'm not that famous. Okay, I was thinking about me. I got distracted. Glenn Kirshner. Now, Glenn Kirshner's a name, Stephanie. That is true. The Republicans wanted changes, and so in the House bill, they gave them everything they wanted. You want to have an equal number, even though you're a minority? Fine. You want to have equal subpoena power so you can call a bunch of people and we all have to listen to the idiots? Fine. There. Let's vote. And it passed the House, but the Democrats are in the majority there. And even though the Democrats have a VP majority, a 50-50 tie in the Senate, but because the VP is Kamala Harris, the Democrats have the majority in the Senate. Even though that exists, it doesn't matter because this is not a budgetary matter, so you don't get to win with just a simple majority. You need these 60 votes to get past the filibuster cloture, etc. So the Republicans killed it, even though during the discussion in the Senate, Susan Collins found it concerning and said, hey, what if we put in this amendment? The Democrats like, fine, put in the amendment. Well, what do you Republicans need to make this work? Put that in there. There you go. This is everything that you've asked for. We've conceded in every possible way. Can we just have an investigation to ensure that this doesn't happen again? Remember, there were 33 hearings on Benghazi and nothing came out of it, except as Kevin McCarthy admitted, it hurt Hillary's poll numbers. So, there you go. 33 investigations. We're just asking for one independent investigation. Go. Nope, it failed. So, the reason that we don't have this is because we need 60 votes to pass almost anything in the Senate, and the reason for that is because we still have the filibuster, even though the filibuster is a bastard version of what the filibuster was originally intended to be. So this is Joe Manchin.
This commission passed the House with a bipartisan vote. The failed vote in the Senate had 6 brave Republicans, but that was 4 short of the 10 necessary to advance the legislation. Choosing to put politics and political election above the health of our democracy is unconscionable. And the betrayal of the oath that we each take is something they will have to live with.
They don't have shame, though. So no, they're not going to live with it.
To the brave Capitol Police,
if they felt shame, they would be Democrats.
Officers who risk their lives every single day to keep us safe, the Capitol and congressional staff that work around the clock to keep Congress running, even the reporters who work hard to deliver congressional news to the American people, and every American who watched in horror as our Capitol was attacked on January the 6th, you deserve better. And I am sorry that my Republican colleagues and friends let political fear prevent them from doing what they know in their hearts to be right.
Okay. Joe is correct here that this is unconscionable. It was horrific. They watched it in horror. Joe can fix this all by himself. Joe is the reason we don't have filibuster reform right now. Do it. Do it, Democrats. Change the filibuster. You don't even have to get rid of the filibuster. Just go back to the filibuster being what it was originally intended to be. It's fixable. And he's talked about doing that. Do it. Do it, Joe. Fix it. That's Joe Manchin for you. Let's go right into the interview. So I woke up this morning and saw that Timothy, which is my middle name, by the way, Timothy Bella with the Washington Post had sent me an email asking if I wouldn't mind being interviewed. And so I did. And I figured, well, this would be a good opportunity to record this. A, because you never know what the press is actually going to report. And B, to sort of show people what it's like, an interview versus what actually ends up in print. Not that they're two different things. It's just that a lot of times the interview can be 30 seconds long. The interview can be 5 minutes long. I don't even know how long my interview was. I can find out very quickly. Was it 15 minutes long? Hold on. Yeah, 15 minutes long. So we spoke for 15 minutes and it turned into a couple of paragraphs, which is fine. I have no problem with what was written. I just thought you guys might find that interesting. And it's something I can keep for posterity, for my posterior. So this is my interview. Again, and Tim Bell is aware of this. I told him specifically what I was going to do with it. I wasn't recording someone without their permission, and you'll hear it here. So here you go. Hold on, this is before, I had just woken up. Literally still had my PJs on, etc. Let me, I can fix it so you can kind of see what's going on here. Hold on. Nope. That might be it. Is that? Yeah, here we go. Let's, so this is, you're going to see a triple Kevin here, and I apologize. Well, this is what we can do. I can actually just take this, and I can do this. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Give me a second, folks, sorry. We'll do this. We'll do this. There we go. This is now, I'm reporting on myself. I love this, like I'm a reporter. Okay, there we go. There's Sleepy Kev doing an interview with the Washington Post.
Hello.
Hi, Tim. This is Kevin Williams, known as Kevinly Father on Twitter. You emailed me.
Hi, Kevin. How are you, sir?
I'm quite... I don't know that the volume is enough for you guys. Here, let me pump it. Ah, there we go. I can do that. Well, I'm just waking up on West Coast, so how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I know it's probably been a...
Is the volume okay for you guys? I'm sorry, it's a little bit soft on this end. I'm assuming...
Easy 2 hours there, especially last night.
No, not really. This is how Twitter works. This is...
But I know... Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Can you guys hear him? You guys are a few seconds behind. You can barely hear him? Yeah. How do I make it louder? Let me see if I can punch it up at all on my end. Oh, you know what? There's a program that I can use to do that as well. But hold on. Let's see if...
Sir.
I'm quite well. I'm just waking up on West Coast. So how are you doing? Yeah, give me... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open it up in another program. What's the name of that program? It's a pylon. It's orange. Guys, what's the video program I need to use that you can boost the volume past? It's not Vimeo. Give me a second here. There is... What is the name of that program? I'm so terrible with names. That is my... Oh, that's my heel. Who's heel, though? What was his name? There was a Greek mythological figure. He got shot with an arrow in his heel. Oh. Anyway, I'm terrible with names. But let's go back to you guys. Hi, Trial Balloon. Good to see you. Seriously, guys, what is that? What is? I know a way I can do it. I know a way I can do this, kids. Give me just a moment here, and I will make this work. Because I can pump it up through one of my video editing programs, and we'll watch it within my video editing program, which may be weird, but there's a way to do things, and I want them to work for you. Here it is. I can drag this over here. Then I can... Can I increase the volume there? I don't know. Let's see what the volume is here. This is how Twitter works. Give me a second, guys. No. There we go. Oh, okay. So I can bring that over to the other screen. Give me a second. Give me a second. I can do it this way. This is fascinating television for you guys, I know. Okay, so if I bring this here and put it up here. Okay, if I put it like that, just do. There we go. Okay, so let's see what the volume is for you guys now. Go. This is not unusual.
Good. Well, hey,
I can do even more with it. Give me a second, guys. Okay, and almost done. Almost done. I swear to God, I'm going to pump the volume way up here. And give me a moment. Welcome, everyone who are joining us for the first time. I imagine there's some curiosity in the room. I'm Kevin Lee Williams. I'm Kevin Lee Father. I am your Kevin Lee Father. I'm Kevin Williams. That's what it is right there. And let's go to... Okay, did that fix the volume? Hold on. Oh yeah, I think this is a lot louder.
hello.
Hi, Tim. This is Kevin. Okay, there we go. I think you guys... VLC. Thank you, Lizzie. That's exactly correct. VLC is the name of the program I could not think of. And let's make it big. Stop it. Dagnabbit. What, F7? That is not what I wanted. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. I know there's a way to do this. Oh my God. Oh, now it went to the other screen. Give me a second. Why? What is happening? Okay, hold on. Come here. We're going to move this. And now do it. How about now? Is that real? Is that what we've got? Kevin Williams, known as Kevin Lee Father on Twitter. Okay, good. I think you guys can see that. Hold on. There I am. Okay. I think this is it. I think this is it. So now how the hell do I control it? Now I had to make that small. Okay, we're coming back. We're coming back. Where is it? Give me a second. God damn it. Just stop, would you? Dual preview off. There. Now, make it big, and I want to be able to control it on that screen. Why? Sorry, guys. I know this is stupid. Okay. Can I... That's gone now. Fascinating what's going on here. Okay, I'll try it one more time. I'll move this over here, and we will go primary second display, and you emailed me.
Hi, Kevin. How are you, sir?
Okay. I can move it all the way over here. Give me a second. I think I might have just figured out how to fix it. Do not... I don't know what's going on now. Hold on. Make that small. Make this big. And I'm so sorry, guys. Do it! This is so dumb. And there I am back again. One more time, guys. One more time. I'm gonna try and do this. This is why nobody should watch these live. Okay, now are we happy? Can we do this? Can we do this? Okay, guys, sorry. I hung up on that guy twice now. I know. Let's see if it works. Go. Quite well. I'm just waking up on West Coast. So how are you doing? Here we go.
I'm good. I know it's probably been a crazy 2 hours there, especially last night.
No, not really. Oh, yeah, it's probably been a crazy 2 hours there, is what, a crazy few hours is what he said. And I'm like, no, this is Twitter. This happens. This is how Twitter works. This is not unusual.
Good. Well, hey, I just wanted to reach out because I am doing a story on this clip. I know. I guess as folks have said that it was cut off at a certain point, and they say to that in certain context that all that kind of deal. I just wanted to just get a response from you.
So his phone kept cutting out. That's not what you're hearing on the broadcast right now. Is exactly what I was hearing. But I managed to glean the context out of it.
I know you tested online, but I figured I would also reach out to Kevin.
Sure, no problem. Is it okay with you if I record this? I might use this later on my live stream.
Sure, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah. We're good to go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I guess I was just mostly interested, Kevin, in the response you have gotten since you posted this clip last night. I know some folks in Congressman GAETZ's camp have said that it was posted without additional context to it. So I just wanted to just kind of follow up with you on that.
Sure. Well, most of the people who... Well, first off, I think that Matt Gaetz has accomplished what he was trying to do here. He's a troll. This is about fundraising, and that's exactly why he said what he said. He wants to stir the pot. He wants to get attention. And his supporters will, he'll be shooting out emails later today trying to fundraise, saying, oh, look, YouTube's trying to cancel me, which is exactly what he says within a couple of minutes of the clip that's posted on Twitter. And that is correct. Now, I'm not verified on Twitter, so I can't post up long clips on Twitter. So we're used to, myself and ASIN on Twitter, where most people have seen this because he's a much bigger Twitter presence than I am. Aaron Rupar, etc. You've got to keep your clips to a limited amount. I was live streaming this event as it happened, and my response, along with everybody else watching at the time, was, "Oh my God, he's telling people to go shoot up Silicon Valley." I then captured the clip so I could post it on Twitter. And I noticed that ASIN had already posted Aaron Rupar's clip that came immediately after mine, where he talks about the Second Amendment being for the use of an armed rebellion against the government, which historically is partially true. But the way that this clip comes together, right before this clip, if you want to talk about context, right before this clip, he says, we have a First Amendment right. Or we have a First Amendment to peaceably assemble, etc. And they're trying to cancel me. Well, they're not going to be able to cancel this movement. They're not going to be able to cancel this rally. They're not going to be able to cancel this congressman. And then says, and we have a Second Amendment, which to me and to everyone else who was watching, and certainly to people who have seen the clip, to certainly many of them, this is, how do we've got this first right, we've also got this second right, and we have an obligation, not the right to bear arms, but an obligation to use it, to utilize the right to bear arms, which certainly comes across as a threat. But you can see right before he says that, he looks down at his script or wherever he's getting this information, he's looking down at the podium. It appears well rehearsed, and He even admits a minute later that this is what's going to get him in trouble with the mainstream media, that this is what's going to get him kicked off of YouTube, etc. This is about fundraising. He entirely meant this to be used in this way. So the defense that, and then later I explained that this is about rebelling against the government. Oh, that makes it better, doesn't it? No, of course not. It's like when Trump said, hey, everybody, we need to fight like hell or we're not going to have a country anymore. But an hour earlier, he read from the teleprompter peaceably, so that makes it okay for what actually happened. You have to take this in the context of, if I'm in... God, I'm a talker, right? Like, okay, guy, he asked you one question. It's been like 18 minutes now. Shut up. Man, who is this loser? Failed actor. Interpreting it this way, if thousands of people, millions of people on Twitter, etc., are interpreting his comments this way, what are some of his Second Amendment exercising followers going to interpret what he said as doing? There are people out there that are going to take this, his followers, and interpret it as, we need to rise up against Silicon Valley, which he also compares to the government. So saying that we need to rebel against the government, if in fact the media are an arm of the Democratic Party, then okay, you're saying the same thing. But again, he's trolling us. This is all about money.
No, I'm happy you actually brought that up, Kevin, because
I made him happy.
It's interesting to pinpoint. A lot of people can make, obviously, the people who follow you and share this felt a similar way. I'm just curious. I know allies of GAETZ had actually pointed to how he actually said something very similar at a different speech on May 7th in Florida, and I've seen the clip of it. It does seem like pretty much a stump speech he's been giving on this tour he's been on with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I guess in your mind, Kevin, does that make it better or worse in some ways that this is not the first time he's used this kind of language?
Well, every time you use language, of course, it's not only the written word, it's the tone and the presentation of that language. And I would have to go back and watch the May 7th speech. Is that the other rally he gave with, it's got to be the other rally he gave with MTG.
Yes,
yeah.
Is it the one in May 7th in the
at the Villages?
Yes.
Yeah. No, we covered that one too. The way that you present something is vitally important in these cases. So he may have said something similar to this, but did he say it in the same way? And anybody watching this, well, not anybody, obviously, we all see things through our own prisms, but people watching this, obviously, including myself, took it as he's telling people that they have an obligation to bear arms against Silicon Valley or the government, both of which are bad. I would have to go back to May 7th to give you an exact comment on this. But I mean, and I can. I've got the time to do it right now. We did cover that as well.
Yeah, no,
And I did go back and look at May 7th, and I commented about it on Twitter. We'll cover that after the interview, but that's something that I did. And we'll find out my reaction to it at the time later.
Just curious if you were aware of it, because I know it's not the first time he said something like this, but obviously past night's comments were a lot more widely covered, and just actually commented on it on social media. So I just had to ask you about that.
Sure. Well, now I'm curious for myself. When we're done here, I'll go back and watch that and see if it changes my reaction to it, and then give you a call back. And I kept my promise, which is why I'll never be a politician. But which is why, and of course, everything's important. You know, you interpret what the input that you get. Which is why people who were asking yesterday online, hey, was this doctored, was this edited, or anything like that? Which is why immediately under the tweet I posted, this wasn't doctored, this is the clip verbatim.
Sure.
And if you'd like to see it in the context with the reactions that I had at the time, please go to the live stream on YouTube, and I posted a link, which I don't know if you followed that or not, but
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing is there. This is, you know, people can, if they want the information, it's out there. And I'm a very big proponent of finding things in context, because of course both sides, and I'm using air quotes around both sides have a tendency to take things out of context. Go ahead, go and see the context on this, and either he's talking about an obligation to use weapons against Silicon Valley or an obligation to do so against the government. The odd thing is the proponents of this sort of behavior never mention well-regulated, which of course is right there at the beginning of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
I went off on a tangent there, but yeah. And Matt did not do that last night. I don't know if he did that on May 7th. He did. I mean, I mentioned that on May 7th. He didn't mention well-regulated on May 7th. And on May 7th, I pointed that out. But I definitely would have noticed it if he did.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because he didn't.
Only a couple more things. You make sure you tell us so far, Kevin.
I'm interviewing myself, Benny. For those of you just joining us, this is a recording of an interview that Tim Bella with the Washington Post did with me this morning. I did get his permission to record this conversation, and that's what I'm sharing with you now, and told him that I'd be using it on the live stream. So this is my interview with the Washington Post from this morning.
Have you heard anything out of Matt Gaetz's office yet, or
Have you heard anything out of Matt Gaetz's office yet?
Or anything? Have they reached out? I know they've been very busy today about this.
Oh, no, I haven't heard a word. They may have reached out. Hold on, let me check. Let me just peruse. I saw your email. I'm fairly insignificant, although I'm quoted in papers regularly. I'm fairly insignificant. My tweets are. I'm still not verified on Twitter. In fact, I went through the recent verification process, and the response I got from the algorithm was, we're not verifying anyone right now. And the last time I did, it said, I think the response, a couple of years ago, my daughter said, well, you should get verified. And I was like, okay, why? And she said, well, you should. And then I'm an actor, and other actors were telling me, yeah, that like agents ask about your Twitter status and if you're verified and stuff like that. So the last time, the last time I applied for verification a couple of years ago, they wrote back and said, well, you're not press-worthy. You're not considered press-worthy at this moment. And here I am talking to Timothy Bella. So what do they know? Okay.
I know one, so it's not a big deal.
He was very cool, by the way. But yeah, Timothy Bella thinks he's no one. You know, the reporter for the Washington Post. I don't know why I'm rebroadcasting this. Timothy Bella is a nobody. His words. Actually, he said no one, not nobody. But it is funny. That's a true story. That Twitter told me that this is a couple of years ago, I was either not newsworthy or not pressworthy, whatever it was. Hey, Tree, good to see you. No, I read that now you're working the general assignment news desk, so you're somebody. No, WAPO obviously being a big deal in the spectrum of journalism. So hey, thanks for doing what you do. I don't see, there's nothing to my email. Let me go to my other email here. I don't. I haven't seen it. That doesn't mean they haven't reached out to me on Twitter. I don't live on Twitter. I posted it.
That's a good thing.
I watched the Friends reunion and I went to bed. So, and then I had a one. That is true. Let's talk about the Friends reunion for a second here. It's on HBO Max. If you have HBO Max, I thought it was going to be disappointing. I started watching it, and I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. It is an excellent reunion special. I heard, well, they're going to do some table reads and da-da. Okay, all right. And not only because I've had a crush on Jennifer Aniston for a long time. And that crush continues, I'll be honest, because she hasn't changed at all. Everybody else they've aged a little bit. I have. Jennifer Aniston is the spitting difference. The spitting image of, I just read the word difference from Stephanie in the chat room, and I can't think of two things at once. So, the difference between HBO and HBO Max, I don't know exactly. HBO is what you get through your cable company. HBO Max, I think, is like a Netflix now. You subscribe to it, but if you have HBO, you get HBO Max. So it's going to be a different answer depending on what your cable setup is right now. Anyway, a couple of things from last night. One, Jennifer Aniston is incapable of aging. Even though, as Ellen points out, she has dry eye. She's not perfect. She's got dry eye. The other thing is, David Schwimmer is brilliant. You don't realize it watching the episodes. He brought so much to that character. And then there's a point after Courtney Cox says something very touching, where David Schwimmer says something as David Schwimmer, not something scripted, that I busted up. David Schwimmer is an incredibly funny individual. I've always thought if I was going to hang with the Friends, David Schwimmer would be near the bottom of, in real life, who I'd want to hang with. He's up at the top, man. Just brilliant. I've never met Matthew Perry. I know several people who have interacted with Matthew Perry, and he's super funny. He really, really is. And Matthew Perry really bared his soul in there was a lot of vulnerability last night, which I don't know that we would have seen if they had been outside their group of friends. So just really, really an insightful special, we'll call it. I heard they have an HBO with ads that's a lot cheaper. That may be true. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people don't like sitcoms. I enjoyed Friends. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago on an airplane, I watched an episode of Friends, the one where Ross gets a spray tan. And it's funny. It was a genuinely funny, decent show in a time when shows were filmed before a live studio audience. And as much as Arrested Development is brilliant in its own right, where there's no live studio audience and you can do more creatively, that energy of a live studio audience is something that's hard to replace. It's still a sitcom, but it's a different genre than most of the sitcoms that we see nowadays. It's different than The Office. It just is. Both are amazing shows. Okay, back to me. Wonderful sleep, like a vaccine-style sleep, and woke up well refreshed this morning and saw your email. So far nothing from Matt GAETZ. Oh yeah, he was asking about it must have been a wild night or whatever, and I was like, no. I watched the Friends and I went to bed. And I did. I had a great sleep last night. 7 hours and 58 minutes. That's almost like real people sleep. Can't say that they haven't reached out to me on Twitter.
Okay, great. And two final things. One, I know you're an actor, but how would you like to be identified, Kevin? Actor or something else?
Sure, actor's fine. Failed actor. I should have said failed actor.
Okay, great. And before I go, is there anything I did not ask you about that you would like to add right now?
Good question. Should always ask this in journalism school. I wish I'd come up with a better answer at the time. Well, I've lost 30 pounds this year. I'm quite proud of that. Oh, no, that was a good answer. I totally forgot I said that.
Good for you.
Yeah, I know. No, this is. I think I've expressed. Oh, I mean, I'm not the only one who sees it this way. And Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz likes to give the interpretation that he's being persecuted. He's the world's biggest snowflake. But just as Josh Hawley is making money selling his book about how big tech is bad on Amazon, this is just Matt Gaetz, or Rick Gates as Trump calls him, just his way of pulling in funding. And he's trolling us.
Well, hey Kevin, you've been extremely helpful. I know it's an early morning out there, so I really appreciate it again. Hope our
That's when I actually looked at the time. I look over at my little clock on the computer.
paths cross soon, and yes, thank you again.
Sure. It's not that early. It's 9:30 here, and I never sleep in this late. So I must have felt like I'd done a good job yesterday. Well rested.
You sound like me. Yeah, no, I'm same way. I just get up.
And then there's very pleasantries, and I tell him that Timothy is my middle name, and we do that favorite name thing. So that's the interview. And you know what we should do is we should go back and look at May 7th. Part of the Matt Gaetz defense is the righteous indignation of, this is nothing new. He's been saying this before. He said this before. He said it on May 7th. Here's the proof. I don't know that they posted the proof, but okay. There we go. Let's go look at the proof. Okay, I can make this smaller now, and that should go away. And no, hold on. Okay, it's gone. Let's go to where I posted the proof. It should be here. And okay, that's us live streaming. Give me a second here. So we'll go to the tweet, and under that tweet, we should have, this is from May 7th.
Cancel this rally.
Okay, this is him basically giving the same speech, but he says things very, very differently.
But the internet.
Hold on. Oh, I know why. I gotta reset the. Sorry, hold on, guys. I gotta reset this because I changed everything. Give me a moment. Give me more moments. Come on. No? Is this just not gonna cooperate? Oh, that's not the right thing. That's why. Sorry. Hold on. Here it is. More coming. More coming. Come on. Oh, come on. Almost there, guys. Sorry, I wish there was a better process for this, but there really isn't. That's just how this works. Okay, that's good enough. So this is the live stream. Some of you watched this with us. This is the live stream from back on May 7th. Matt Gaetz camp is saying this is a stump speech. He's been saying this. Why all of a sudden is killing people bad? He did publish it, and we'll take a look at the interview in a second. First, I wanted to reference this because I said after the interview, or during the interview, I said, I'll go back to March 7th or May 7th and see what my reaction was if I reacted to it. And I thought, now, why, if he had said this on May 7th, why wouldn't I have noticed it? Now, as you've seen from the live stream, I'm doing multiple things at once. I might have just missed it. Let's see what actually happened. This is May 7th in Florida.
Internet hall monitors out in Silicon Valley.
You said exactly the same thing, internet hall monitors.
They can't cancel this rally or this movement or this tour or this congressman.
But the DOJ can. That guy's funny. See how much louder my mic was back then? I don't know what happened.
We have a right to bear arms in this country, and we better use it.
We had better bear arms? I don't know that that's what he wanted to say. See, he said something similar to it, but very differently in a very different tone, as opposed to last night where we have an obligation. And I thought that he must not have meant to say that, because why would a sitting U.S. congressman say that? Again, keeping and bearing arms are two different things. Keeping, that's what it says in the Second Amendment. Keep and bear, I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Let's just fact check me. Let's just pull up the Second Amendment for a second here. I do not want to speak out of school. Let me just put Second Amendment, and we will look at the Second Amendment together. And I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. Well, here we go. We'll make it big for you guys too. Here it is. Let me pull it over. There we go. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, not just to have guns, but to bear them, shall not be infringed. And the Founding Fathers, what they meant was to, who knows what the hell the Founding Fathers meant anymore. But you can see that people will bastardize that all they want, but that's simply what the Second Amendment says. If it was just to bear arms, meaning that you can have guns, that's different. And again, the whole thing being there because we need well-regulated militias. Now, do they say anything about hunting? No. Do they say anything about personal protection? No. That really wasn't solidified until the Heller decision in the early 2000s, 2004, 2006, somewhere around there, under Scalia. But that's what he said. He said it before, something similar to, not in those words, not in that tone. And again, at the time, I thought that can't possibly be what he means. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because nobody would say that. Apparently he does. Apparently he intends to say that. And I think we found out last night, that's because he's trying to fundraise. As he said during the speech, again, I'm all about context. Go back and watch the whole speech. There are parts of it where he's begging for money, where he wants your donations. That's what this is all about. And I'm not going to take any money from the PACs. He has. I'm not going to take any money from PACs. It's all about your funding, not from corporations, because corporations won't touch Matt Gaetz. Hey, Sean Hannity won't even touch Matt Gaetz right now. He's been accused, but okay, so twice in my life, I've been very vocal. 3 times. I'm going to include Trump in this. There was another time where I had a bad experience with a celebrity on a set. And when people would say, what was that celebrity like? I'd be like, no, he's an asshole. And people would get upset. You can't say that. That's just, and I'm like, no, this guy is definitely just kind of a grade A narcissistic asshole. Absolutely, no. Because he chided me and he scolded me and he wouldn't listen to what I was doing, which was a good thing. I was helping him. That guy's a grade A asshole. People, the number of people that I miffed. I finally stopped saying. I was like, I don't want to talk about it. That celebrity that I said was not a good person, that celebrity was Bill Cosby. So does that mean Matt Gaetz is going to end up in jail? Yes. Yes, it does. The judges agree. No, it doesn't mean that. All you need in this country is for one idiot on a jury to have a reasonable doubt, and you're free. And Matt Gaetz knows that. Let's look up, Marcy sent me something about the militia. We'll look at that in a sec. Yeah, we'll look at it now. We'll look at that now. See the way I teased that, Chris? You were like, who? Which celebrity are you talking about? Give me a second here and I'll pull up Marcy's militia thing. We'll see if that's worth looking at. It might be. Asen sent me something too, so I'll look at that as well. In colonial America, what is this from? Let's make it big here. Oh, Britannica. Okay. In colonial America, the militia, based on the tradition of the Frid, was the only defense against hostile Indians during the long periods when regular British forces were not available. During the American Revolution, the militia provided the bulk of the American forces as well as a pool for recruiting or drafting of regulars. The militia played a similar role in the War of 1812, when the United States and Britain again went to war, and the American Civil War. After this conflict, however, the militia fell into disuse. State-controlled volunteer units, referred to as the National Guard, were formed in most states and came to serve a quasi-social function. Many of these volunteers were veterans of the Civil War, and many were from the middle classes. In the 1870s and 80s, such units were called upon by state governors to fight against strikes. I don't know what the B word is there. To whatever it is. At the time, these states' units constituted the nation's only trained armed forces. I'm assuming that's what it says underneath that. Thank you, Marcy, for that. Let me just check very quickly. Oh, Chris Krebs. He just tweeted me Chris Krebs' remarks. Oh, apparently that was just on MSNBC. So here's a screenshot from ASIN of Chris Krebs on MSNBC. So apparently at 1:19 p.m., and I don't want to watch that right now. So at 1:19, which is about 40 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago now, the MSNBC tweeted my tweet. Yay! Again, it's not really about my tweet. It's about what Matt Gaetz said. I was on Nicole. I love Nicole Wallace. Nicole Wallace is the Jennifer Aniston of MSNBC. But I mean, you guys know that my true love is Rachel Maddow. Someday I'm going to marry her. You'll see. People are like, she's not your type. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm an independent. She's a Democrat. I get it. Bridges can be crossed, people. That's why they're there. Is that what it was, Christopher Wallace? She is my hero. They're all my sheroes. And Shepard Smith, also one of my heroes. Anderson Cooper, also a hero. I honestly, I have a much better shot with Shep than I do, I think, with Rachel Maddow. But that's kind of cool. I don't know that I've ever been on MSNBC before. They have played, like Brian Williams last night, played the clip that I posted, but it wasn't the clip that I posted. So they just played from exactly the same, I believe exactly the same. Yeah, they started the clip where I started it and ended the clip where I ended it. And again, that's simply a function of me live streaming and trying to capture things at the same time. Many of you have witnessed me do that. So that's kind of neat. I gotta take Asen out to lunch at some point. By the way, Andy's probably not in the room, but Andy sent me some money so that I could take my daughter out to dinner. Thank you, Andy. That's very nice. And for anybody else, if you want to send me money to take my daughter to dinner, I will gladly take it. All of this, we're able to accomplish whatever we've accomplished here. Nothing. We're able to open up people's eyes because of your support. So here's where I shill. If you want to become a patron, go to kevinleefather.com. If you want to send me money on the Cash App, if you're in the United States, you can do that. PayPal from almost anywhere. Venmo. I think Venmo is international. If you're in the United States and you want to support me and you don't already use the Cash App, use that link up there. Here's why. If you use the link cash.app/whatever on your phone, then you can send me $5 and Cash App will give you that $5 right back. And when you do that, I get another $5 to $15 as a referral fee because now you're using the Cash App. And when you use the Cash App, you can use it to buy coffee and you get $1 back on your coffee, not just at Starbucks, but like anywhere, at any coffee shop, if I'm understanding it correctly. They change their policies from time to time, but that if you'd like to support this sort of journalism, then feel free to do that. Now, I told you guys that we were going to cover the end of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because if you remember last night, I just got so bored of it all. Not realizing that some of my tweets were blowing up, that I said, well, I'm done covering this. So, yeah, it's been more than an hour already, but if you guys want to cover MTG, the end of the MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene from last night, we can do that. I'll leave that up to you guys. I'll take a respite, sit back in my lazy boy. Oh, Andy is here. Thank you very much, Andy. Shout out to Andy. Ah! My window's open. I hope my neighbors aren't disturbed by me any more than usual. Kim wants to watch it. Marcy wants to watch it. Stephanie wants. Okay, so we'll watch. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. And then as far as a movie tonight, yeah, I think we're doing a movie. If you're on Patreon, if you're a patron of mine, you'll get a notification. Or if you're in the Twitter chat room, I haven't even thought about what we're watching. I've had a lot of other stuff going on. I've been talking to the press, but I will have my publicist look into what movie to watch tonight. This is a continuation of Marjorie Taylor Greene from last night. Forgive the audio.
The Democrats are an interesting crowd, though.
Sorry. I did warn you. Let's pump it down a little bit. Oh no. Oh, it just went all the way back to the beginning, but I think we can find it. The Democrats are an interesting crowd, though. Crap. Okay, it ends at 2:17-ish, so it should be right at about 2:01. I was smart enough to actually look at the time code before I hit play here. Let's see where we end up here.
Hypocrites.
That's really loud in my ear. I don't know how that is for you, but let me pump her down in my ear. Same thing happened last night, by the way. She's a lot louder than Matt Gaetz. And certainly like 4 times as loud as I am in the microphone. Let's try again. Okay, there we go.
And ready, you got a snack and water bottles. Probably advising people to take cans of soup. They don't give them to the hungry, you guys. They throw them at police officers. The Democrats are an interesting crowd, though.
Like, why? Okay. Still, by the way, I was promised the suburbs would be burning by now. I wanted some excitement in my life, but no, nothing.
They really are. It's the house of hypocrites.
Because they're giving away soup and not to the hungry.
And it's run by the queen of the house of hypocrites, Nancy Pelosi.
Does anybody say Pelosi? Is that the right way to say it? Are there any, I'm assuming it's Italian. Are there any Italians in the audience? Should you say Pelosi or is it Pelosi?
Yep. I have a new name for her. I call her Speaker Mask Hole.
Oh, Mask Hole.
It fits.
Allison, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And no, I don't look on Patreon like who's giving me money and who's not and who's changed their donation and stuff like that. I really should. You're supposed to. And I don't. If someone sends me money, I appreciate it. If they can't afford to, that's fine too.
It's appropriate. So, Joe Biden suddenly declared that COVID was over, and the CDC went along with it.
What I do know about Allison is this. Hold on. This is what I know about Allison. I do think of Allison because there she is, right there. On my skate blade. Look at that. There. Oh, let's see if I can find it right there, and move right there. So there's Allison. This is my skate blade that Allison donated money for, and right there. This goal courtesy of Allison Skateborn. So if I ever score a goal, I'm going to point down on my skates, and nobody on the rink will have any idea why is he pointing at his skates. All right, back to reality.
And you don't have to wear your
thank you.
mask anymore. And so I went back to Washington, and I was really excited. I was like, yeah, I believe in people wearing a mask if they want to. I believe in people getting a vaccine if they want to. But I'm really tired of wearing this mask when I don't need to.
Why does she not need to? Wait. Did I miss it? Did she admit that she's vaccinated? Because so far, as far as I know, she won't tell anybody whether she's been vaccinated or not.
Boy, we have a lot of smart people in the room. You must have something called common sense.
Or the vaccine.
So I decided to stop wearing my mask on the house floor, and
I know there's a buzzing that's coming off the feed. That's not on my end.
apparently that's frowned upon. As a matter of fact, I received a couple of letters about that, and I've got a fine for $500 and another fine for $2,500, which is a heck of a lot of money. And I don't have to pay it, and I'm not going to. Do you think I should have to pay that?
I don't know what the punishment is for not paying it. I have no idea. There is a jail in the Capitol. There's an old holding cell. Yeah, the buzzing is not on my end again.
They aren't going to take my paycheck for standing up for kids every single day across this country who are forced to wear a mask when they go to school, when they're in the lowest risk group and they're not spreading COVID around. As a matter of fact, they're kids in school and they shouldn't be forced to wear a mask.
Okay, but hundreds of thousands of kids have gotten sick with COVID, many of them with long-term effects, and 132 American kids have died. They're dead. Gone. So, Mrs. Right to Life, how about it's okay that the kids wear masks until they can get vaccinated? Hypocrites. Talking about hypocrites. Yeah, the consensus seems to be that, and from MTG herself, they're going to take it out of her paycheck. But she's saying I don't have to pay it. Well, no, you'll just never get it.
And you know what else? Athletes, high school athletes and kids shouldn't be forced to wear masks when they're competing in their sports.
Well, it depends on the sport, but yeah. Like swimming, probably not.
We shouldn't be seeing videos of track athletes running outside with a mask on, deprived of oxygen when they're running as hard as they can, so that they fall down and land face first on the finish line. That's it.
Have we seen that? How is that happening? Has that happened? Have track athletes fallen down face first?
It's an outrage.
I'm outraged that I have not seen
So
video
I won't
of that.
be wearing my mask anymore on the house floor.
Okay. That's just more money back for the taxpayers. I'm okay with that.
I don't care how many letters and fines they tell me they're going to give me. I'm
Okay.
not doing it.
Great. We'll take away all your salary then. That works out fine for everybody.
Because I'm an American woman and I'm free. And all of you are Americans and you're free.
Yeah, Melanie, I've seen some of the videos of the doctors with like, no, we wear masks all the time. And we never actually collapse. We wear them for like 14-hour surgeries. And we're okay. Marcy says each subsequent fine is $2,500. That sounds right. I think I've read that.
And if I can't stand up and fight these microaggressions in the people's house.
Whoa! Like a year ago, the Republicans were all about like, there's no such thing as a microaggression. Now she's using the micro. Okay.
Then how is anyone supposed to be able to fight it at home? We are not going to be treated like second-class citizens because we don't want to wear a mask anymore and because we refuse to get a vaccine that's not even approved by the FDA.
Okay, but that's treating you exactly the same as everybody else. Do you see?
And there is no government agency, there is no business, there is no school, there is no group that can force you to get a vaccine that you don't want to get.
Not entirely true, but yeah, yeah.
That's wrong.
What's wrong? What you just said? It is.
Yeah, my body, my choice. And you know what? It's a great statement. I'll tell you why it's a great statement. My body, my choice. Because when it comes to abortion, that baby in a woman's womb is not her body. That's a body that belongs to another human being. It should never be murdered in her mother's womb.
I see that side of it. But it's also inside her body, so this is why the founding fathers and Jesus talked so much about abortion.
Over 62 million people in this country. Yeah, those were American citizens that were murdered in their mother's womb. It's a horrible lie. A lie sold to women that in order to achieve, you have to kill that baby. That is the worst evil, most horrific evil that is happening in our land. We need to end abortion completely. End it.
Completely. So if you're raped by your dad,
well, back to Speaker Maskhole. I want to tell you guys a little story. See, she doesn't really care about COVID.
Oh, hold on. Marcy found it. High school athlete. This is from the Christian Broadcasting News, or CBN's Christian Broadcasting Network. High school athlete collapses at finish line after being forced to wear a mask during race. I just felt super dizzy, which has never happened to any athletes before, feeling dizzy after running. It's never happened. You know what? You know what we totally forgot to do is take a look at the article that Timothy Bella actually wrote. We skipped that, so let's go to that so that we can sort of get that done, because I'll forget all about that. How can I breathe? Here it is. I can pull it up like this, and I can bring it over here. Video shows Representative GAETZ blasting Silicon Valley and blustering about gun rights in the next breath. That's accurate. This is GAETZ' full viral comment on Second Amendment cancel culture. So that what they did is they took let's see how long this is.
The internet's hall monitors out in...
Oh, okay. So, this will be interesting. It's 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Oh, and there's my tweet. On the left-hand side, let's just make this big. Here we go. On the left-hand side, you can see my tweet. This video of Rep. Matt Gaetz went viral on Twitter on May 27th.
Silicon Valley, they think they can suppress us, discourage us. Maybe if you're just a little less patriotic, maybe if you just conform to their way of thinking a little more, that you'll be allowed to participate in the digital world. Well, you know what? Silicon Valley can't cancel this movement. Or
I'm reporting on myself. This is very meta.
This rally or this congressman. We have a Second Amendment in this country, and I think we have an obligation to use it.
The viral comments were part of a larger speech in Dalton, Georgia on his America First tour with Rep. Gaetz pushed back about where the clip cut off and says his Second Amendment comments were not directed to Silicon Valley.
The
following shows it in
hall
full.
monitors out in Silicon Valley, they think they can suppress us, amendment in this country, and I think we have an obligation to use it.
I just skipped ahead.
The Second Amendment, this is a little history lesson for all the fake news media. The Second Amendment is not about, it's not about hunting, it's not about recreation, it's not about sports. The Second Amendment is about maintaining within the citizenry the ability to maintain an armed rebellion against the government if that becomes necessary. I hope it never does, but it sure is important to recognize the founding principles of this nation and to make sure that they are fully understood.
Okay, that's fine, except that he's talking about rebelling against the government, which just happened on 1/6. What makes it necessary? And in the same speech, as I've said, he equated Silicon Valley, the media, etc., with the Dems, who are currently the government. So yeah, I will absolutely stand by my cutting of the video 100%. I hit record, I hit end. That doesn't make it any better. Gates made similar comments at the Villages
But
before
the
retirement. This is
internet
May
hall
7th.
monitors out in Silicon Valley, they can't cancel this rally or this movement or this tour or this congressman. We have a right to bear arms in this country, and we better use it. The Second Amendment.
Which is why I said I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to say that. Where you put things in a speech is important.
Is not about hunting. It is not about sports shooting. The Second Amendment is about maintaining within the citizenry the ability to maintain an armed rebellion against a tyrannical government if necessary. And you know what? People may not like that. That might not be politically correct, but that is the truth. And oftentimes the truth is politically incorrect.
Okay. But it was also to protect us against an invading force. The British, for example. And that's exactly what happened in 1812. Although we were really the aggressors. Anyway. My YouTube channel's gotten more subscribers overnight. Cool. And again, I'm still demonetized on YouTube. This video, the May 7th video, it's not on YouTube anymore. I don't know if it's been taken down. It's just gone. So, yeah. The irony of it all is that what he said last night, that this is what's going to get me taken down from YouTube. No, it's going to be what gets me taken down from YouTube. Your comments, Matt. It is what it is. Which is a terrible expression, because it just means I give up. So anyway, so there's the Washington Post article. They talk about that. There's my tweet. Talk. And then you heard the entire interview. If you didn't hear the entire interview with me and Timothy Bella from the Washington Post, we played it earlier during this broadcast. You can go back and listen to it if you want. It's a 15-minute interview, and it came down to this. And there's Aaron Rupar. As I mentioned in the conversation, that came right after this. And when I sent it to Asen, I sent mine in, and then I said, I looked at what he had, because I figured maybe somebody else captured that as well. Maybe Asen himself captured and posted it. And I said, hold on a second, because Lizzie said something. I was watching a YouTube guy, and he was demonetized because of saying COVID. Apparently, they were demonetizing any videos with COVID just because of false info, etc. Maybe. I don't know that I've posted any false info about COVID, but I have said COVID many times. I'm saying it right now. Okay, so this is... Keep going. Oh, so here it is. This is the part about me. This is what the interview was reduced down to. The clip posted by actor Kevin T. Williams was shared widely and resulted in Silicon Valley trending on Friday. I didn't even know that. Into Friday. In an interview with The Post, Williams, who has appeared in shows such as The Librarians and Grimm, he does his research. Like, no one knows who I am. But yeah, he found me and emailed me, which the Matt Gaetz campaign could have done. Very easy. It's not hard to find me. Secondly, he went to IMDb or somewhere Wikipedia or wherever and found that I'd been in those. So it's like, yeah, okay, who has appeared in shows such as The Librarians and Grimm, defended posting the clip, which he said was not doctored. If I'm interpreting it this way, and thousands of people, millions of people on Twitter are interpreting it this way, then what are his Second Amendment followers interpreting? Williams said Friday. There are people out there, his followers, who will interpret this as, we are going to rise up against Silicon Valley. I don't think that's exactly what I said, but it might be. I don't know. I have the recording. The clip got the attention of Representative Ted Lieu, who said McCarthy needs to strip Gaetz of his post on the Judiciary Committee because of the ongoing federal investigation. Also, Gaetz is urging people to shoot Silicon Valley employees, Lieu tweeted. And again, right underneath my tweet, I post, hey, watch the whole thing. And as the Washington Post, but it doesn't make it any better. Allison's 14-year-old Connor gets his second vaccine in 2 weeks. Awesome. Judges like that too. Allison says, I was just about to ask you about that, Kev. I'm not sure what you were just about to ask me about, but cool. Ask away. Are we done with MTG? Oh, that's right. We went back to MTG, and then there was something else too. What else were we going to do? We read the article, and Marcy sent me an article. Here it is, high school athlete. Thank you. Give me a second. I will bring it over again. Okay, State of Oregon has now revised an outdoor mask. Yeah, by the way, but the athletes shouldn't have to wear masks outdoors. Outdoor transmission is very low. Plus, people can now get vaccinated. Reporter, a junior, Maggie Williams. Hey, I wonder if I'm related. A junior at the Summit High School track band in Oregon stumbled her way to the end of her school record-breaking run and lost consciousness. Both Williams and her coach say her mask is to blame. As a result, the Oregon Health Authority is updating its guidelines. Yeah, all right, I'm fine with that. She ran 800 meters in 2 minutes and 8 seconds, breaking the old school record of 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So she ran. She really ran. Whether the mask is responsible for that or not, I don't know. And of course, it depends on right. Oh, we got video too. It depends on what kind of mask she was wearing. Let's find out.
A moment of glory. Overshadowed by this moment of
no, that's bad. It's absolutely bad. She does fall. She passes. Looks like she passes out and she falls right on her face. It doesn't look like a surgical mask. She's wearing probably a neoprene mask or one of those other masks like that. And I can understand that you're putting it all out there. You're exerting everything. I've tried wearing a mask while playing hockey or tennis. You don't get the full breath that you want. So yeah, if they want to change that, that's good. I've said if you're vaccinated, you shouldn't be wearing a mask at all. But anyway, let's watch this.
of glory.
Oh, and she does it right at the finish line too.
By this moment of concern, Williams finished in 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Wow, right on the line. This is really sophisticated technology for a high school track meet.
Collapsing as
Yes, I'm still demonetized, Allison.
she crossed the finish line.
I felt like I just wasn't being able to get a full breath, and multiple
Oh.
times of that happening, not being able to get enough air. I just felt super dizzy, and then eventually
Well, good for her, setting a school record. But here she's wearing a surgical mask.
passed out.
Williams blames her lack of oxygen on the mask she's required to wear during competition.
Clearly,
You can see some other people in that picture seem to be wearing the light blue surgical mask. She's got some other, it might be a black surgical mask. Those exist.
in the past, this has never happened, and then this race that I was wearing a mask, it did happen, which I don't think is a coincidence.
Her coach echoing
I wonder if she wears it during regular training as well. That would have been a good follow-up question.
that belief, saying this was not a conditioning issue, it was a mask issue.
It was a different response than I've seen for kids that have collapsed to the track just because they were exhausted. She wasn't sure where she was.
A moment of glory.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her. And there you go. Thank you very much, Marcy. But yeah, we know now that for most outdoor activities, unless you're in close proximity with something or in a crowd, you're not going to spread it. That's what we know there. Plus, that goes right back to Why don't we have enough testing to be able to test these athletes? Oh, we're competing today? Great. Every day at school. Where are the spit tests we were promised? Saliva test. It's going to be $2 per test, and you're going to just spit, and then in 15 minutes we'll know. Allison has 300 surgical masks. We'll be coming by for those masks. In California, we still have the mask mandate until June 15th, even if you're fully vaccinated. But interesting that happened. Let's go back to MTG and finish her up.
But either. Nope, she doesn't care.
Well, it's unfortunate. I wouldn't want any athlete to collapse like that. Athletes do collapse. I've seen it happen many times in my life, especially when they're exerting themselves to the fullest. You want to see athletes collapse? Go play football for a little while. Football players do it all the time. If you're outside here in California, do you have to wear a mask? I don't even know. If you're around other people, you're supposed to. I don't know if you're supposed to. I haven't even looked because I'm unvaccinated. And if I do get near people, I still just pop the mask on. But I know, for example, I'm playing tennis, and in league matches, we don't have to wear masks. A couple of people I've played against, no, not somebody I've played against, but I have seen people competing who do wear a mask. But it's not mandatory according to the government.
I don't care. It's just a political tool for power.
Again, I don't know what power it gives you to tell people they have to wear masks. Where is the power? How does that benefit the government at all? They're trying to benefit people who can't get vaccinated. And on the House of Congress, that's inside. If MTG was running a race outside, I would be like, okay, I guess that's part of CrossFit. Go, girl.
I'll tell you how I know that. I've watched it. January 3rd.
Plagued by Society got reprimanded by a librarian when I went to curbside pickup. She felt embarrassed because he didn't have a mask on. Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, that's all librarians do. Shh. Shh. That's their job, is to reprimand people. I kid. I love librarians. I'm an actor known for my performance on The Librarians.
When I was sworn into the 100.
And if you'd like to watch me perform on a librarian, don't. Hey, Wade Peterson. Thank you very much. Wade Peterson just sent some money in. I appreciate that, Wade.
17th Congress, the same Congress that declared that there's no such thing as gender anymore. Yeah,
Wow, the feedback's getting bad. We might just quit. Marcy sent in some money as well. Thank you very much. So Andy, Marcy, Wade, all good people. The rest of you, you're all terrible people. I'm kidding. Don't. Okay, this is just getting worse. Let's just bump ahead. If it's bugging me, it's probably bugging you.
On Omar, it's rumored that she married her.
Okay, we're back.
Well, then she even went a step further because some of them were complaining about that. So she ordered a box built inside the chamber. It's up on the top, on the upper level. So they could sit in there and vote. But I don't know about you guys. We aren't really living in...
Oh, Marcy says... Oh, Marcy sent me money. Thank you, Marcy. And she put in a note, too. It says, hall monitored bribe. I'm an internet hall monitor.
Star Trek, and they don't just beam these people in the COVID box, right? No, they got to walk around to get in there, don't they? As a matter of fact, they got to fly or drive into Washington, D.C., which meant they were around people. They had to walk into the Capitol building. Oh, God forbid, bringing in COVID. Yeah. They had to come in there, and that's how they got in there to vote for her for speaker. So do you think Nancy Pelosi really cares about COVID? No. She doesn't care one bit.
No, she does. That's why she's trying to prevent it. You're the one who appears not to care about it.
She just cares about power.
Again, what power?
So the Jihad Squad, which is supporting terrorism, do you think Nancy Pelosi has denounced them? No, she didn't denounce them.
She's actually spoken out against AOC a couple of times in Nancy's way, in Nancy Pelosi's way.
We have Eric Swalwell, who slept with a Chinese spy.
He did not. There's no evidence of that whatsoever.
Yeah. He sits on the
But he didn't.
Intel Committee.
Yeah.
Did old Speaker Maskell denounce Eric Swalwell? No.
No, because there's absolutely no evidence that he had sex with a Chinese spy.
She did not. She made
Nancy
sure
Palooza.
he stayed on the Intel Committee. She's got old Ilhan Omar. It's rumored that she married her brother.
Rumored, and absolutely no evidence pointing to that happening. We don't have evidence. Snopes has looked at it. Several fact-checking organizations have looked at it. There's no evidence that she married her brother.
At least that's what I heard. Did y'all hear that same rumor?
Oh, you heard it. You heard that rumor. Well, that must be true.
Yeah. She's very loyal not to America. But Nancy Pelosi
She's very loyal to, not to America.
defends her. She would never denounce her. As a matter of fact, she wouldn't denounce Maxine Waters, who flew across state lines.
Which is fine. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you flew to Florida.
And went in and incited a riot in an area.
She didn't. There was no riot after what Maxine Waters said. There was no riot. She didn't incite it. And again, what she said was, the way we fight back is by registering and voting.
That was having riots every single night. What kind? Let me ask
There were no riots. Not after Maxine Waters spoke.
you something. When Maxine Waters walks in and tells them,
She has that annoying whining voice, kind of like Roseanne Barr. Yes, she does. I call it the affected voice. And so there are things you can tell from a human being about the voice. Marjorie Taylor Greene had, you know what? I don't even want to go into it right now. But yes, there are similarities between her and Roseanne Barr and other people who have that voice. You'll run into those people in your life from time to time. Start asking about what happened to them.
after 11 o'clock at night, which is past curfew, by the way, to get more confrontational. What's more confrontational than the violence in the streets?
Well, she explained it. By registering to vote and voting. By having open discussions about this. By letting your voice be heard. It's on tape. That's what she says.
Burning cities, looting
How do we win? We win by voting.
businesses, attacking police.
I could play it, but I'm not going to play it right now. I don't think I have it. I'd have to look at it for it on Twitter. I posted it on Twitter. If you want to see it on Twitter, just search Kevin Lee Father, Maxine Waters, or just Waters.
Police officers attacking property. What is more confrontational than that? So I introduced a resolution to...
Well, it's confrontational. I'm confronting you right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Confrontation doesn't mean fighting. Nor does we need to fight back against what that person said. It doesn't necessarily mean fisticuffs.
To expel Maxine Waters.
You're completely powerless. If you know what? Win an election.
Yeah.
Lock her up for a riot that never happened. There you go.
But Nancy Pelosi did not denounce
Nancy Pelosi now. Just Pelosi.
her. Oh no, she knows how to hold everybody in really tight so that they can ram through the Democrat socialist agenda
Vote for? Yeah.
that's going to tear down our country.
By the way, they're not ramming it through. They could ram it through. They're not doing it.
That's what she's doing. Unfortunately, I haven't seen that happening so well in our Republican conference. Unfortunately. We had 10 Republicans vote to impeach Donald J. Trump, our president.
Okay. He's not your president anymore. But yeah, sure. No, that makes sense in past tense. Yeah.
We shouldn't have had one.
We shouldn't have had one. We should have had 100.
But that's how it seems to work. You see, here's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Republicans have to take back the majority in 2022. It's critical that we do that. But when we take back the majority, we have to take it back with a Republican conference that understands conservative American values. What do you all think?
And one of those conservative American values is not lying. And you're just all about the big lie. So you shouldn't be in Congress?
And we have to take back the House with leadership that cares about conservative American values, which are America First policies. So that's what we're going to be working on, and we're going to be working very hard on doing that.
She said hard on.
This is what Matt Gaetz and I are doing. We're traveling the country with these America First rallies, and I'll tell you why they're so important.
Because you're raising money.
We know that America First policies are the only way to save America and stop socialism. And it's our job to do it. It's our generation's turn.
She said do it and hard on. Woo!
And the reason why we have to do it is because we have great threats to our future. We have China, where it is now mostly known that the COVID virus came out of a lab.
That is not known. That we need to figure that out. Not that it would make a difference. But no, it is not. There's absolute, definitively low confidence.
But Facebook banned you if you said that before, which is probably a bunch of you in this room. We have an Iran that would love nothing more than to have nuclear weapons. We have a Middle East that doesn't care about Israel's right to defend itself. As a matter of fact, they'd like to yank those people right out of their land and hand it to the Palestinian Authority. We have a world that wants to invade America and is currently doing that along our southern border. And then they want the American taxpayers to pay for their housing and their food, stimulus checks, whatever, while they also work a job.
Yeah, you can't. Your illegal aliens don't get stimulus checks.
And send money back home, tax-free. You see, these Americans.
No, everybody pays taxes. If you live somewhere, you pay rent. You're paying taxes.
America First policies are the policies that President Trump put in place over the last 4 years.
If you buy anything in most states, except like Delaware, Oregon, there's 2 others, I think. You're paying taxes.
For years. America First policies are the policies that we know that we can trust to save our country and build our children's future. These are the policies that we're going to take all over the country and make sure that the Republican Party understands that this is what the American people want, because it's people over politicians, and the only way we're going to do that is with America First.
Is that it?
That's right. That's right.
Look at the crowd of dozens.
Yep. See, you guys all understand it. It makes sense to you because you're Americans and you
Oh
love
my
our
God,
country.
we just witnessed an
Let me tell you what
insurrection.
it makes.
Guys, see that happen?
See, you guys all understand it. It makes sense to you
we
because you're Americans and you love.
we just saw someone beating someone else with an American flag. Hold on, guys. I got to show this to you. This is shocking. I cannot believe what we just witnessed. This This is way worse than Matt Gaetz with his "we gotta shoot everybody" thing. What? Hold on, guys. You gotta see this. This is just, I cannot believe that no one has posted this before. Here it comes. Someone beats someone else with an American flag.
See, you guys all
Watch.
Understand it.
Watch right here.
It makes sense to you.
She takes him
because
down
you're
with two American
Americans and you love
flags.
our country.
Did you miss
Let
that?
me tell you what we're about to do.
Hold on. We'll go back. We'll watch that again because I want you guys to see that.
Because you're Americans and you love our country. Stand it.
Right here in the corner. Watch.
See,
See,
you
she's
guys
got
all
two American
understand
flags.
It makes sense
Bang!
to you.
And
because
down
you're
he
Americans
goes.
And you love our country. Let me tell you what we're about to do.
How is that not everywhere on the internet right now? Shocking.
I'm going to walk off this stage and I'm going to go get my friend, Congressman Matt Gaetz. We're going to come back out here and we're going to have a little bit of stories to tell, and we're going to talk a little bit about some interesting things that go on that you don't hear about on CNN, because CNN is really too interested in training their viewers to hate me.
We don't need any training.
How many of y'all watch CNN?
Oh, you can't see? You didn't see it? We'll go back. It's cute. It's nonsense, but it's cute. Just watch. Watch. Hold on. We'll go back in again. Go back in. Watch. Watch right here. Okay? Just keep your eye on this space. Here it is.
See, you guys all understand
See the little girl?
It makes sense to you because you're Americans and you love our country. Let me tell you what we're about to do. I'm going to walk off this stage and I'm going to go get my friend, Congressman
Yay.
Matt
No, I don't know that anyone covered that, but it's got to be on Instagram or something like that.
Gaetz. Yeah, they lost like 70% of their viewers or something like that.
So did Fox.
Apparently.
Because people are like, we're good now. It's okay. I don't have to pay attention to politics right now.
People don't want
There's a black guy sitting right in the front row there.
to watch hate all day long and propaganda news. Yeah, figure that one out. Maybe y'all should interview with them afterwards.
I don't know that CNN was there.
Tell them what you think. But be nice. Remember, we're not the party of violence. We want them to leave and say, you know, they were nice to me there. Nobody hurt me. They might lie, though. I don't know. All right. Thank you guys for coming. We're going to be back in a few minutes. God bless you guys. I love you. I love my district.
Oh, my ears. So that was that, guys. So I don't know if we're going to have a movie tonight or not. For those of you just watching for the first time, we get together and we watch movies over Zoom on Friday nights sometimes, some Fridays, and I anticipate that happening. I've got a calf injury and I'm supposed to play tennis tomorrow, so I'm not allowed to do anything. So I will probably... oh, you know what, though? I think I have other stuff to do. I do have other stuff to do. So there may be a movie tonight. There may not. If there's no movie, watch a movie on your own. I recommend going to Pluto.tv, and they're not a sponsor, but they have a whole bunch of free movies. So feel free to do that. Should we go back and see if we can find just the little tiny bit of, what's her name? Nicole Wallace. Talking about the clip. Shall we do that, guys? Do you want to do that? Give me a second here and I'll do that. If you're just watching and you're bored, just go away. Hold on. Go back to home here. And if let's see. My DVR. What time was it at? 1:17, I think. And I do not like the interface on Sling. I have a lot of problems with it. In fact, I had to call them or chat with them yesterday and say, like, this should work and it doesn't work.
Hi there, everyone. It's 4 o'clock in the East. Legislation to create a bipartisan...
Hold on. We got to be very careful about watching. Here we go. Let's see what they say about it.
With this, you're part of the problem.
Okay, how can I do this? See, I can't really show the whole thing because hey Yoshi. What am I trying to say? MSNBC will often copyright strike you if you have your videos on YouTube. So everything that I just did could be gone because of MSNBC. But we'll take a look at it here. Let's see if I can go back and forth on it. Can I?
Congress is beyond the pale. Congress, in their inane remarks.
I'll make it silent here. And we'll go back a little bit. Just see if we can get the gist of it. Oh, it's jumping all... See, this is the problem. Is that Sling jumps all over the place. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see it on your screen, but I'm trying to go back and forth, and I can't get to the point that I want to get to, and when I do hit play, it jumps to somewhere else. So far it's been very frustrating. How about now? You going to do it? Let's go forward. Go forward 30 seconds. Forward 30 seconds. There it is.
Qualifying and un-American. If you associate with this, you're part of the problem. Kevin McCarthy is associated with this because we know he knows how to cut.
Oh, she didn't show the actual clip. So, but I'm assuming that they've all seen it.
Why is he even in the caucus?
Because they're talking about it. Anyway,
and so they are
stop it. Yeah, Sling TV, fix yourself. You're an awesome service in terms of price, and I don't want you to be a you get what you pay for situation. Feel free to reach out to me. The Washington Post found me. You can find me too. I'm happy to discuss improvements to your service with you. Now, in their defense, when I talked to the Peoples, I chatted with them. I said, this is what happens. This shouldn't be happening. She did send it up to tech support. I haven't heard anything, but there you go. Something from Joe Walker will be epic. Let's see what that is. What's the thing from Joe Walker? Hold on. Quiet. There we go. Hey, Phil. We're just wrapping up. You got here just in time. Joe Walker. Will we be lucky enough to see GAETZ get arrested at one of these rallies? Maybe. We'll see. It's a definite maybe. All right, guys. Maybe we'll see you for the movie tonight. Maybe we won't. If not, we're coming up on 2 hours. I think that's enough broadcasting for Friday. Thanks, everybody, for watching and taking part in the conversation. To those of you who just watch and don't chat, thank you. And if you've learned something today, please share it with somebody else. Everybody have a safe weekend. We will see you either tonight for the movie or we'll see you probably later in the weekend, I imagine. Take care, be good to each other, and Godspeed.